Welcome to the Malted Minis, brought to you by the Malting Hour. I'm one of your hosts, Tony Golick, joined always with
Brandon Winninger.
Hey everybody, we're back.
We're back. We're not dead.
We still have a show. We had to take a couple weeks off. We had some stuff going on, and even right now, there's stuff going on, and we wanted to come back. We missed all of you so very much. And what a better way to come back than just to do a malted mini, because that's all we can do. There's full episodes coming soon. We've got some stuff lined up. But.
Indeed we do. But this one is appropriate, I feel like, for kicking off March. I feel
Absolutely.
like in the past when we've had this, the yearly version of this, it's always been like right after St. Patrick's Day, because that's usually released like a day or two before St. Patrick's Day. And it was only a brewery release, so you'd have to go, and they did the crowlers of this beer, so we'd have to go pick that up.
Now you still don't you still have a crowler left?
I do.
No,
I don't think it's from last year. I think it's 2 years old now.
I think so, and you've kept it in your beer fridge the entire time.
Yeah, no, and that thing has literally just been at 38 degrees the entire time. So I am super curious. Originally, when we talked about what we're drinking this beer, we talked about doing a side-by-side. Obviously, that didn't work out. But I still would like to revisit that one in the near future, since this one will be kind of fresh in our head. There's probably a chance we can get another bottle of this, too, and do a side-by-side. So, yeah, I would be very curious to see.
I was going to say it wouldn't be a bad idea maybe to do an after-final pour sometime this month to do it. And we can do a side-by-side. Or, just...
Yeah.
We haven't done I don't think we've done a St. Patrick's Day episode in a while.
No. I'm trying to think, because we normally do.
I don't think we did last year though. Last year we kind of overlooked pretty much every holiday except for doing some Christmas beers or winter beers.
I mean, we got to get our Easter beers in.
Yeah. Got to get those Jesus beers in. You know what's funny? The first time you and I had this beer, which we will tell everybody what it is shortly, which if you haven't looked at the description of the episode, whatever. But the first time we had this beer was in 2020 or 2021, because it was one of the first times you and I had hung out together to have a beer, and we drank this together. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
The reason why I bring that up is that, the reason why you and I haven't been able to record is that, number one, I have moved, and number two, you finally got hit with the COVID.
I did. Yep.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of funny that this is the beer that we're having first coming back.
Yeah. It was funny too, because I had a doctor's appointment last week, and I was telling the doctor, and he was like, "Oh, where'd you go?" I was like, "Nowhere, dude. Like the grocery store." And he's like, "Yeah, that shit's weird."
Yeah, that's what finally happened. Even though you were the one who was like, were you the one who was doing like all the shopping and stuff, or like going out during the pandemic?
Yep, I did 99% of the shopping. Like Becca barely left the house. And then her and Benjamin got COVID like 3 or 4 times each, and I never got it. I was in the house. I wasn't wearing a mask. Like,
that's crazy.
Yep. I blame it on the fact that I did dry January, and my body was like, "Dude, you're fucking healthy." And then it was like, "Time to fuck you up." And it was like, I got COVID.
If it's not going to be booze, it's going to be COVID.
And you know what? I wouldn't have even known. And had I not gone to urgent care, I would have just thought it was like a bad cold or like the flu. Because I had like 2 like pretty bad days where it was just like I couldn't get out of bed. So I was literally working from bed. And I was like, I canceled all the meetings I was supposed to have. I'm like, I'm not talking to anybody. I was like, I'll be here working or on email unless I pass out. But I'm not talking to anybody. But then so it was Monday. I went to the doctor, and he's like, "Yeah, you got the COVID."
Now this was not this past Monday, but the Monday before.
No, the previous Monday. And then by Wednesday, I didn't even have a fever anymore, and the only thing I was just tired. But then the fucking cough, it's still when I lay down, that's when I get hit with a cough. But as soon as I get up and I start moving around, the cough's gone, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, glad you're doing better. And I am all moved in to my new place, and
Yay!
pretty much everything's set up. So I'm pretty excited. Got the kitchen in order. That was the biggest thing that I wanted to do, and my bedroom. Everything else will fall in place. The new TV all set up, baby. Ready to go.
Nice.
As I told you earlier when we went to Old Irving, there it is. Our one Old Irving drop for the episode. Got all that set up. I got my sound bar working today, and that shit is loud.
Oh
It
yeah,
is loud. It is
and
insane.
it's a Fire Amazon Fire or sound
So
right?
Fire TV, Fire sound bar. I had it.
I like the
Always listening. Yeah, it was crazy. I tried it out today, and then I put Spotify on the TV, and I was like, oh man, this is great. Like, I never will have to turn it above like 30.
Yeah.
Like it is insane how loud. Like nothing needs to be that loud. I don't have a theater, but pretty excited. Anyways, let's get to this beer. The beer that we're drinking today, Brandon, is
Goose Island Shamrock Stout, bourbon barrel aged. That's all it says. Oh, a hint of mint, a touch of cocoa, a lot of luck.
Goose Island's 2025 Shamrock Stout is a limited edition barrel-aged stout aged in bourbon barrels for a year. It's finished with cacao nibs, peppermint, and vanilla. The beer has an ABV of 14.1 to 14.2. It's 14. By the way, I'm reading I'm going to start prefacing everything. I'm reading the Google AI because I think it's hilarious because sometimes it gets shit so wrong.
Yeah.
Tasting notes: rich, warming notes of oak and whiskey. Layers of sweetness and complexity. Cacao nibs and vanilla add layers of sweetness and complexity. Peppermint adds brightness. It pairs well with thin mint cookies dipped in bourbon.
Well, I'd be right. Of course it would.
What? Get it together, Gemini. I think that's the name of Google's AI. And then I went to click on the Untapped link to get some more info, but it's oh wait, here it comes. This is Goose Island's actual description. Goose Island Shamrock Stout is a decadent delight that is aged for a full year in freshly emptied bourbon barrels and finished with peppermint, cacao nibs, and vanilla. The aging process imparts rich, warming notes of oak and whiskey, while the addition of cacao nibs and vanilla adds layers of sweetness and complexity. Fucking AI. They just read through this and they know what's going on. Goose Island Shamrock Stout is a perfect way to raise a toast this year without having to dye the river green. Well, way to go. Brandon, I've already had one of these, and I've been sipping on this for a little bit now. What is your take on this?
I like it. It's again, it's been a while since I've actually had this, but
it's been a while.
It feels thinner than I remember, but maybe it's just me. I don't know. This one's been sitting out not at room temperature, but roughly like 60 some degrees. But I'm getting the chocolate. I'm getting the mint. I mean, I think it's well done. I don't hate it. The question I was going to ask too before I forget is this the base beer for this? Is it Bourbon County?
I think we've talked about this before, and I don't know.
I feel like that's what it was announced as when they first released it. It was like, oh, like a limited edition Bourbon County Shamrock Stout or whatever.
So I think the only difference of this is that I don't think it's blended barrels like Bourbon County is. I think it's they find a barrel that they want to age it in, and that's it. I think that's the only difference. I think the actual base beer itself might be Bourbon County. Now I'll say this. This is my second one in 3 days. The first one I had, it was probably around 60, and I liked it. I didn't love it. This one that I'm having now was in the refrigerator for about 48 hours, not longer than that. And I took it out maybe a half hour before we started recording, and it's a bit colder, and I feel like I'm getting more of the mint.
Ooh, okay.
That helps out because I remember getting like the chocolate and the bourbon when it was warmer. I'm like, oh, that's good. And then the background's like, and then here's some mint. Like, you don't have to have this ice cold, but I feel like this needs to be colder, maybe like 45 degrees instead of like in the 60s or 50s.
That could be a good point. Because I feel like the mint is a little more subtle than it has been in years past. So that
right, and that's how I felt when I had it Friday. But I'll tell you this: the aroma on it is 100% like chocolate and mint.
Mm-hmm.
Like it smells like a thin mint or a Fannie Mae mint melt away. And
Mm-hmm.
whatever is your favorite chocolate mint, that's what you would like.
Yeah.
That's what it smells like. I mean, it smells really good, and it's great. It's 14.1%, and it's one of those like really good adjuncted stouts, whether barrel aged or not, that I keep going back for sips and keep going back for sips and keep going back for sips. Where all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I just downed that 12-ounce beer that's 14% in, 20 minutes or a half hour. It's not like regular Bourbon County or some other big barrel aged stouts, like another older Irving drop, like the Krampus stuff. Like I sip on that. I sit there and sip on it because I can't just keep drinking it because it's so much, which is great, which is what I like about it.
Yeah.
This is the other spectrum where it's like, oh, I really like it. I'm going to keep going back because I just want to keep drinking it. I also love chocolate and mint. It's one of my favorite combinations.
Yeah, and I feel like to the Krampus point, those are more like those like have a heavier body, so it's easier to like just sip on. This like being a little bit thinner. I mean, I'm not saying it's a thin beer. It's not by any means, but it's thinner than a traditional like these like adjuncted stouts that you're used to. But I think that's what makes it so easy to kind of sip on and drink. Like it drinks, it drinks like a high ABV beer. I wouldn't probably know right off the bat that this was a 14% beer, but it's definitely up there.
It's definitely more of a medium bodied to like medium high like as far as like body goes, medium to high, but thinner or less than like some of the bigger adjuncted stouts that we have on this show.
Yeah. And again, like I like mint in things. And I feel like this is very well balanced with the mint. It's not too overpowering. It plays well with the beer. I don't know. I just keep thinking about, I had a whole conversation, or not a conversation, but a thing earlier with Benjamin. When we got back from the park, I was like, dude, we can have some hot chocolate. And we've got these hot cocoa bombs. And I knew right away when I threw it into like the hot milk, I gotta like, Benjamin said at first, he goes, oh, this smells weird. And then I like started mixing it and I smelled it and I'm like, oh, there's mint in there. He does not like mint.
Oh no, he doesn't?
No. It's one of his things that he says, when I'm older, I'll like it. Okay.
Your son is wise beyond his years. I feel like he's from the future. He's an old man from the future who is now living in your son's body.
Yeah, definitely could be. I mean, he told us he was originally born on the International Space Station. So
yeah, so I stand by my statement.
But yeah, like, so it's like, do you want a different one? So I had to make him a different hot chocolate. And then Becca ended up drinking the other one, but I was like, it's just so funny how he was just like, it's mint. It's disgusting. I'm like, all right, dude, look, I'll get you something else. And here I am, like,
the fact that he says I'll like it when I'm older is insane.
Well, he says it about like a lot of things, like even like vegetables or salads. He's like, oh, you're eating a salad? Yeah, I'll like that when I'm older. Like, okay.
Yeah, he's a reincarnated somebody, dude.
Yeah. Well, he's the one that told us that he was on the boat in Pearl Harbor when that got blown up.
What the hell? So he's just somebody who's bouncing back and forth through lives.
Probably, yeah. He told us he remembered being there, and then like that's when he was like obsessed with Pearl Harbor for a while. He's like, yeah, I was on the Arizona boat. I remember.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Saving Private Ryan's based on my life.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That kid. Anyways,
no,
he doesn't like mint.
The moral of that story is Benjamin doesn't like mint.
And this is great.
Yeah, I think this is. I would like to get another 4-pack because, number one, I like the idea of doing the side by side with what you have, but I'd also like to do what you did with the Bourbon County and made ice cream, is boil it down and do like a chocolate chip mint Bourbon County.
I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, this would be good ice cream.
Yeah, I think it'd be a great idea.
Well, and that's a good point. So in years past when they've done this, again, it was a Fulton only release that they did in crowlers. This is the first year that they did it in 4-packs. And it was nice because the day they announced it, I remember you texted me. He's like, "Yeah, Benny's already has it."
So I found out what the difference was. So Benny's already had it for $20. If you did the pre-sale with Goose Island for $20, you got a glass with it.
Ah, that would have been cool.
Yeah, I'll show you when you come by here. I'll take a picture. And you know this, just like me. I don't need any more glasses. I don't. This is the first time like I have put out all my glasses that I have, and I have a box of like other glasses and some Steins where I'm like, I need to go through some of these tasting glasses, figure out which ones I really want, which ones I really need, like because of memories. And then my Oktoberfest Steins, I need to just put someplace else because I think this year I am going to do some type of Oktoberfest celebration.
As you should.
You're invited.
Oh, sweet. Thanks.
I might, I think maybe we should do, an Oktoberfest beer for it. So that's the other thing about getting here into my new place is that I'm going to get back into brewing. Hopefully by the time this month is over. I definitely want your recipe for your old fashioned so I can put it in a 1 gallon keg and just have that on tap in my kegerator for a little bit.
Yeah, dude. So good.
It's so easy and so delicious. And I figured, that'd be nice. And watch some TV and just easily, this has to be a Friday night thing. Just pour a couple of old fashions and,
Told you, just get a really long hose on it and stick it in your mouth. And
I'm ready. Pour it in my mouth.
Yeah, and it was funny because after dry January, I think I was the one that told you that I still had some old fashioned left. And I think I don't know if we were recording that day or maybe it was when we were doing like the last dry January episode. And then when I stopped dry January, I still didn't drink too much, but I was like, let's see how much is in there. And there was like a glass and a half in there. I had it. And it was like, and I had the carbonation on it perfect because it came out perfectly, but wasn't like carbonated. Yeah. So I will 100% do that again for parties because that is super easy and like
absolutely.
Tasty.
I don't know what bourbon you use, but I will say if you get the Benny's Clark and Sheffield bourbon, I mean, that's like $20 for the 1.75 milliliter. That's a good way to go.
I ended up getting, I'm looking at the bottle. It's still sitting right there. It was Evan Williams.
Nothing wrong with Evan Williams.
Yeah. And it was the 1.75 bottle and it was on sale. I think I got it for like $23 or something like that at Benny's.
Nice.
Yeah.
The concert I went to on Thursday at Lincoln Hall, it was a deal of a PBR tall boy and a shot of Evan Williams for $13.
That's a good deal.
It's a really good deal for a concert venue.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, $13 for a shot and a beer. I mean, come on. That's usually if you go to a festival or
it's $13
any show.
For the beer.
Yeah, it's $13 for the craft beer, and it's like a fucking 12-ounce pour instead of a 16-ounce pour.
Yeah.
The hell, losers.
Yeah,
Brandon,
the other great thing about this, I was going to say, is it's a 12-ounce bottle and not a 25-ounce crowler.
Good point, because that was something I wanted to mention, is I'm very happy that it is their 12-ounce bottles. And I've got one more left, and I think I'm going to save it for St. Patrick's Day. But I will go out this week, see if I can get another 4-pack of this, and we can do a side-by-side, and then you can show me how to make ice cream with it.
I would love to.
Oh, thank you so much. Do that, and then maybe I'll get some Thin Mint cookies and throw it in there as well.
That would be perfect, actually.
I mean, that's like decadence of chocolate and mint, and having that in a pint, like that's not something I'm just gonna like eat willy nilly. It's like it's a special occasion. It's time to have some of that bourbon, chocolate, mint ice cream.
I think I went through mine pretty quick when I made it.
Which one? The
Bourbon County one? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the Bourbon County ice cream you made me. It was gone in like 2 days.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Real quick before we move on to the final review here, have you had a Shamrock Shake yet this year?
I did.
How was it?
It was okay. But here's why I had it. So here's
the caveat.
I had gotten Becca one a couple weeks ago. I forget what Benjamin and I. they had a Valentine's Day event at Benjamin's school on the 13th. So we had gone to that, and he like, again, he's a picky eater, so he refused to eat anything while we were there. So we were leaving, and of course it's like 7:00, 7:30. He's like, I'm hungry. I'm like, dude, you're killing me. So we went to McDonald's. I got Becca one, and I threw it in the freezer, and I was like, because I took Benjamin home and she was still volunteering at the school. So she had it, and she was like, I mean, she loves Shamrock Shakes. And then I got COVID, and there was literally like 4 days, like even after I was feeling better, I couldn't taste or smell anything really. And I knew I couldn't. I was like, dude, I normally, like, if I wear shoes all day, I could smell my feet at the end of it. I was like, couldn't smell that. I'm like, I haven't showered in a week. I cannot smell. I was like, I know
I'm disgusting.
I know I do. I'm like, I'm not wafting from down there, like whatever. So I told her, I was like, she's like, oh, I'm going to stop at McDonald's. Do you want anything? I said, yes, get me a Shamrock Shake. I want to see if I can taste it. And she got it and brought it home. And then like, I think she was putting Benjamin to bed, and I had snuck downstairs to grab it. And like, she came down and then saw me, and she's like, can you taste it? I was like, no.
Oh no.
But so then I did, I threw it in the freezer, and then the next day I had it again, and then I could taste the mint. That's really all I could taste was just mint. So I wasn't getting like the vanilla from the ice cream or anything like that, which I feel like is pretty good. But yeah, it was still okay.
Well, this year they're doing the McFlurry version of it.
I saw that.
So I haven't had anything, and I think at this sometime this week I have to have one or the other. Now the McFlurry, I was talking about this earlier. Like, I think the McFlurry idea is good, but I want the shake. I want the texture of a shake. Like a Shamrock Shake is just very, to me, that like people have their memories of McDonald's, like maybe as a kid. The Shamrock Shake always stood out to me. And I think that's when I realized, like, oh man, mint is really good. I like the way that it tastes. And so anytime there was, which is funny because at that point I didn't know, like, I just associated mint with chocolate, not realizing that it's mint and vanilla. But yeah, it's very good. So Brandon, how many Shamrock Shakes are you giving this?
I'm going to go like 4.3, 4.4.
Nice.
Something like that.
So I checked this in on Friday, and I'm going to check this in again. I'm giving this a 4.5. I feel like this nails exactly what I want from basically a mint chocolate barrel-aged stout. Like, very good. Goose Island nailed it. I'm also drinking out of my 2021 Prop Days glass. Brandon, I have a quick question for you. Did we participate in Prop Day 2023?
Yes.
Did we participate in Prop Day 2022? No, we didn't. We got everything mailed to us.
Yep.
That solves my mystery, because I have 2020, 2021, 2023, and 2024 Prop Day glasses.
Yep.
That was the one year we didn't do Prop Day.
Well, because I think we entered the lottery then too, because I don't think that was in person yet, was it?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
2023 was the first year they brought it back.
Yes.
And we were lucky enough to get invited. So
yes, that's what I want to make sure. Because I was going through my glasses, I'm like, I'm missing a year, and that was the year that I missed. So I figured if anybody would know, it'd be you, because I only go to Prop Day with you. So, well, overall, there we go. We're back, baby. This was fun to do, and also it was very fun to go to brunch with you and your family today. Thank you.
It was.
It was very nice.
It was nice to get out. I wish it was a little bit warmer. Cause I was telling Becca, like, we were getting in the car. She was like, oh, it's nice in the sun. I was like, it's not that nice. And I said, if it was a little bit warmer, I was going to say, hey, let's walk there. But we did not. We did not walk.
Throwing out boxes, I realized how cold it was today. Here's the funny thing about Chicago.
Nice tomorrow.
Well, on Tuesday, it's going to be 52 degrees with thunderstorms. And then looking at my WeatherBug app, it shows 50 degrees with frozen mix, because it's going to be thunderstorms in the morning and then snow showers in the afternoon and then snow at night.
Weather is redonkulous.
It's that drunk Chicago weather. By next week, we'll be in the 60s. So we're going to move on to drinking some.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. We're going to start doing them beers. Yeah, some of them spring beers, baby. We got a couple new breweries we gotta hit up too. So, but yeah. So thank you everybody for allowing us the time to take some time off to live lives outside of drinking beer and talking about it. But it's good to be back. I'm looking forward to some new episodes. Brandon, I love you, buddy.
Love you too, man.
And we'll see everybody next week.
Bye.
This has been the Malting Hour. Be sure to follow us on all social media by searching The Malting Hour and at themaltinghour.com. You can also follow us individually on social media. Brandon can be found on Instagram as BMDub81, on Twitter, BDub81, and on Untapped as BDubDrinksBeer. Tony can be found on Instagram and Untapped under Ace of Help Chicago, on Twitter, The Ace of Help Chicago. Clark can be found as Clarkowski on all three. Dan can be found on Instagram as hip__hops and hip hops on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like, and rate the show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Until next time, cheers from all of us at the Malting Hour.